What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. This is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Welcome to Man of Prestige. Man of Prestige. Welcome to you, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have a conversation today. Now, the first thing I want to make sure I do is make sure that sound works fine. All right, sound works perfectly fine. All right, good. So we got a few things we want to cover today. We're definitely going to be covering the Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa's story, the divorce story. We're going to be covering that. We're going to be actually we're going to be reacting to a video that was made about them by none other than the Oshay Duke Jackson. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to cover some Nigerians, black people in Ukraine, the discrimination that's going on allegedly, and even in the midst of the war and stuff like that. And then also, we're going to cover some pick me stuff. I don't even like to use the term, but that's the vocabulary on this YouTube street. And in order for me to be able to reference what we're talking about, I have to use it, right? So we're going to talk about that. And also, we're going to cover I Don't Give a Fuck Part 2. We're going to go back there, go look at some of the comments, the outrageous comments that you guys have been leaving on the videos to help us continue the much needed conversation. Obviously, people are angry. We're all angry, I guess, and we have stuff to get off our chest, right? So we are going to have this conversation. So anyway, just wanted to really do a quick recap there. We're going to be covering those things today. And then there were some things from the last live taping session that we didn't cover that I feel like maybe if we have some time today, we'll cover. Also, there's a guy that's upset. He's an alpha man. Is upset. Hopefully, we're able to get into that, right? Anyway, this is what we have going on today. 17,500 views. We're just getting started, right? So it's growing in leaps and that's how they say, right? In leaps and bounds, right? So we will definitely be having a lot of good time here. Now let me share the screen with you before we get into the intro here, just to tell you, show you what is possible and what is already happening right here. As you can see, there you go. I wanted to make sure that I show this, right? As you can see, we are 5 subscribers away from 200 subscribers. So we're doing well. We've hit 1,000 hours so far and 10,000 views. Like I said, more accurately speaking, it's about 17,500 views so far. So we're doing fantastically well when it comes to the platform. So I want to say thank you to you for supporting. If you're watching, you're supporting. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share with people that you feel will benefit from this. There's a playlist on the homepage of the channel called the Game 100 for Men. You want to make sure you watch those 100 videos. If you're a man and you're coming to this platform, I want to make sure that I let you know that you need to be watching that video. Without any further ado, let's get into today's business. And these are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, welcome back. So, like I said, we want to cover this Jason Momoa's story. So basically, he went back to his wife. Okay, they are living together again. Now, I'm not sure if I've ever covered this before. Basically, they are both actors and actresses, right? Well, actor and actress, right? Jason Momoa is probably more so known for his role in Aquaman. And for those of you that were around at that time, Lisa Bonet, for me, I know her from The Different World, the sitcom, right? I'm sure she's done some movies since then, but she's also an actress, right? So I think 16 years in children, Last week he announced that they will be going their separate ways. He did it so graciously, not like this man right here, not like this guy right here, right? He did it with some grace, right? And so I'm not exactly surprised that they found themselves in a place where, no, actually, like a month later, they are now kind of like trying to find their way back together and trying to work on things. So there's a video by Oshay Duke Jackson that I want us to react to together. That really, he did a good job addressing this. But there's some really cool points that he pointed out that I wanted to also add some context to. So I decided to go that direction, right? So let's find that video. Let's see. There you go. Oh yeah, today we're also gonna cover some Coach Greg Adams video, but let's go through this video first, right here.
From media takeout.
All right, so we have the video. We're ready to go. Let's just make sure that we're not making a boo-boo here. All right, great, awesome. All right, and shout out to you if you're watching me live. Most of our audience is rewatch, rebroadcast, replay. We're just live taping, so feel free to hang out with us. Again, we did one test run of the, live call-ins and stuff, but we'll see how that goes in the future. But for now, let's just get to work. 17,500 views. We have some work to do, so let's get going with that. All right. So let's watch this video.
It says this. Day music. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet are getting back together. Now, remember this story was breaking about 1 to 2 months ago. They split up, and he's going one way, she's going the other. Now he's 42 years old. She's 54. Now he recently got a gig.
That's a 12 years difference. But after 40, I'm not sure if that matters. Maybe until another 2 or 3 decades from now. I'm not sure if that matters much. But oh well.
On the Fast and Furious, right? And The Rock shouted that out. So his career is on the up and up. Lisa Bonet, can I get a give her a sound effect? Not so much at 54, and not a lot of options in the professional world.
All right, so obviously there's a lot of truth to that, but that can be the same thing for everyone, man or woman. But I guess more so for women, but I guess more so for the data that the manosphere like to pull up, right? Of course, right? What's going on, shopkeeper? That's your opinion. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but let's keep talking about the topic. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by anyway, right?
Nor the dating world. It's not many options out there. But what has happened is he's moved back in, allegedly. All right.
All right. So if there was so much options for him out here, why did he move in, right? Actually, there's probably more options for him. He's a good-looking guy, but good-looking is not enough, right? It's not enough. We're talking about he's even ready for the dating marketplace after, I think they said 16 years, right? So I don't know. Let's keep going. But clearly, it's not in the headspace where he wanted to move on, right? Let's keep going.
They're going to give their marriage another shot, okay? And they're back together, and they're going to work things out. But why are they going to work things out? Now, obviously, they have children together, okay? That's one reason.
Boom. Children together. See, a lot of people, when they're talking in the manosphere space on this online YouTube, they always talk out of their ass. When people have children, it's a different ballgame altogether, okay? When a person has a family, right? Especially they've been together for 16 years, I think they said. I actually want to make sure of that, right? But I think 16 years, right? There's vested interest beyond just physical bullshit data, empirical data nonsense that people are spewing all over the place. There's people's emotions involved. It's neither right nor wrong. It is what it is. It's what keeps them moving. Is it right? We don't know. Is it wrong? We don't know. Only time will tell, right?
But another reason is this. He has the ability to walk away. And see, a lot of red pill things happen in the entertainment space. Guys.
All right, so let's be clear first of all. All right, so about a month ago, he walked away from the marriage. He made the announcement, right? And this is an extremely difficult thing to do. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. It's extremely difficult, but he made the right move. It's something that we've been talking about for Kanye. Something that Kanye West is supposed to do. You have to be willing to walk away and mean it, especially if the woman has checked out. If she's checked out, it just means she's checked out for now. But you can make it permanent depending on how you move, can make it permanent. Now, you could turn around if you're 12 years old, you say, yeah, screw her too. Or if you have a 12-year-old mindset. But like I said, when people have a family, it's a different ball game altogether, right? You're invested. Clearly, that's why you built a family around that. And the last thing you want is to start to break your family up, right? So your knee-jerk reaction, your natural instinct is to fight in the way most people think to fight, right? Which is to beg and plead, and that doesn't work either, okay? Because again, there's a reason why she's running for the hills, right? And if you keep begging, the only thing you're doing is you're confirming that you're not even worthy in the first place, right? So I think that's what Oshay is about to talk about with the red pill thing, right? But yeah.
Don't realize it. We don't want to really acknowledge it. But the red pill, especially for the manosphere, is so evident. All right. It's so evident in spaces. And if Jason Momoa was a guy who was a complete bitch and he wasn't okay with leaving her, she wouldn't have wanted him back.
So the best position for negotiation is to be able to walk away and mean it, right? To walk away and mean it. And no, you cannot afford to fake it, right? You really have to be in a place of centeredness, in a place of at least a masculine frame where you're able to say, I am walking away and I mean it, right? And it hurts and it's sad, especially when you have a family and you have children, right? But you are so strong in yourself that you are willing to do that and mean it. And it's a risk because, hey, what is the fear here? The fear is that what if I walk away and then she leaves me forever? You know, this is the fear that the Kanye West has, but he probably won't admit it because of his stupid ego. But it's okay to admit that. But in spite of admitting that, you're willing to walk away and actually mean it. You're willing to take that risk that she could take this as a cue, completely wrong, and it can go left. And she could be like, he doesn't care. He was willing to make an announcement and walk away. But that's the risk that you have to be willing to take when you're in that kind of position, you know.
I'll tell guys something like this, all right? There are a lot of guys who have a lot of money, guys who have a lot of success, but when it comes to the relationship, they're a complete female, all right? And what that means by that, they're begging, they're pleading, they're not standing on their masculine perspective. And sometimes it can be like that. A woman will not want to deal with you for whatever reason, you know?
And she may even stay temporarily and try to play, you know, but she's disconnected, right? She lost connection. She's not happy. She lost the butterfly, right? And I know we like to make jokes of that and stuff, but it's real, right? It's real. That's why she's a woman and you're the man, right? So in that space, a lot of men, well, because they're trying to fight for their family, they get into this beta mode and they start begging, right? And then it works completely against it. And the way they beg, sometimes they beg back and forth. So they'll do like, yeah, screw you then. And then sometimes they'll come back and say, please, please don't leave me. And then they do both. And then both either way is basically showing that you're weak and you're confirming exactly why she wanted to leave in the first place. So the best thing, again, based off of our speculation right now, based off what we know, was that Jason was willing to make that move to announce a few weeks ago that, yes, it's actually a wrap. And that does something to the mind of a woman, okay? It allows, if you're a believer, it allows God to work on that woman as opposed to making her feel like she couldn't escape. Because a lot of time they just, it's like an escapism thing. They feel like they're entrapped in a situation that they can't get out of, especially for the long term. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot going on in the news, in the media, in the socialization space of human beings. You know, people are watching people divorcing in the name of they need happiness, they need to free themselves. And if you become a man, if your woman asks you for divorce and you start to beg and plead and get angry and then can't control your emotions, you're essentially confirming to her that she's about to make the right decision. But if you turn around and say, let me know if you change your mind, yeah, we haven't been in a good place. You actually acknowledge what is going on with her, right? You acknowledge that that's her feelings, but you're not holding her hostage, right? And you're willing to take that risk, because reason why a lot of people don't want to do that is because they feel like, hey, what if I say that and she's gone forever? Well, that's the risk you have to be willing to take, because that will increase your chances of her like wait a minute, wait, maybe that's not what I want. Now suddenly she feels a little safer, they feel a little secured in the idea of exploring the idea of working on the marriage, right? So a lot of the knee-jerk reaction you see out there is like, let me fight, let me be angry, how dare you're leaving our family hanging, right? Women are evil, all this kind of stuff will show in your behavior, and you are essentially confirming to her why she needed to run in the first place. Okay, so I think this is a great point that Oshay is pointing out, that you have to be willing to walk away and mean it, right? You have to. It increases your chances. It's just all chances. As usual, I'm not going to speak in absolute here, right? Because there's no such thing as absolute. There's just too many layers to what makes us as human beings to be spewing another empirical stupid data at you, right? There's too many layers. The only thing I can tell you is that you can increase your chances of that woman rethinking things, right? And if you're in a space where you say, fuck her, she should just move on anyway, then really there's no conversation. It should really be that simple. But if it's not that simple, if you have to walk around social media and do tours of how evil women are, then clearly you want her. And stop the cap. Okay?
Like Coach Corey Wayne, he may say something like, if a woman's attractiveness falls below 51% for you, then she's going to break up with you.
He just mentioned Coach Corey Wayne. Let me introduce you to Coach Corey Wayne. Coach Corey Wayne is somebody that may be considered purple pill because he has room for emotional intelligence, okay? In a lot of his... and some people don't like him because he's not really married, but he's giving married people advice. But I find that a lot of that's him right there. A lot of his rhetorics, a lot of his lessons are actually great lessons. So when he says, like, if the attraction falls below a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, she's probably gone, right? You probably shouldn't put too much energy into that. But if she's around like a 6, that means she's saying things like she lost connection and stuff like that. Don't quote me, but something to that effect, right? But that's Coach Corey Wayne right there. I think his book, The 3% Man, is a good book to pick up and read, to find the balance between all of this nonsense you're probably regurgitating all over YouTube, So it's a good book that I have read quite a few times, and I think it's a good book actually, right? So he's just wanted to put that out there.
Hey, and that's true. It can happen. Like, look at Kanye West. What's happening for him right now? Kanye West, Kim Kardashian looks at him as a complete beta male. All right. His attractiveness, her attractiveness for him is completely gone. It's dissipated. Gone. But the reality is as a man, if a woman feels like it's not working out, a lot of times I would be upset or I'd be mad and even, push my hole in the grave a little bit more by acting big.
You naturally get angry, especially if you've invested years, right? And especially if you've stumbled into a few red pill networks or channels online, and you're like, women are evil, right? That's not going to work in your favor. There's a reason why you were married to that person for so long, right? And there are other things going on behind the scenes of your story with that person that has nothing to do with all this stupid empirical data. The empirical data are lagging indicators, right? They are real numbers, but they're more of an indicator of the story, specific, unique people's stories of things that have happened. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very important to pay attention to that. Yes, J-Bones, he's definitely acting like a maniac.
Are getting upset. And the reality is that if you are a man that has a backbone, all that you gotta tell her is, you know what? All right, it's cool. You wanna do your thing? Wish you didn't feel that way? but it's cool.
And that's how, and to a lot of people, this is Oshay, the president of the Negro Manosphere here talking, right? To a lot of people, what he just said would sound like a blue pill, like sound like soft. Like, look at how you're talking. You're even talking very soft. Like, if you have frame, no, it's very true. We're talking about emotional beings now. If you have any level of frame, the last thing you want to do in this kind of space when a woman asks you for a divorce or she's acting out of place or she's acting out of character, the best thing for you to do is to stay calm, cool, and collected. Okay? That's the best thing. Yeah, exactly, right? That's the best thing you want to do. You want to stay cool, calm, and collected. No matter what move you want to make next, it doesn't matter what moves you want to make, right? What I'm saying is that whatever decision you decide to take, whatever decision you decide to make, you want to make sure you're making it from a place of emotional centeredness. Because if you do otherwise, that means you're acting out of anger. And again, we're talking about a life you've built. And again, we're talking about exposing yourself to the court system that we already agreed that it's not fair. It's not in favor of men. It is what it is, right? Just because of the social construct, a woman has to be protected at all costs. You feel like that instinctually, inherently, you feel that way as a typical man, right? So it's not just the court system that has this double standards going on. It is what it is. So if you act out of anger, out of character, you will basically expose yourself to the vicious nature of the society that we live in. Okay. So the best thing, the best move that you can make is to stay connected to your masculine frame with respect to this relationship that you found yourself. And no, when you do that, you're bringing the structure, the security into that space, and that's the only thing you can do. And whatever she's saying, she wants to leave, she wants to go, she's angry, whatever she's saying is all temporary feelings, okay? It's just all, it's all a shit test. That's all it is, right? And the more you fail it, the further you destroy your family, you know, and that you both destroy the family. But remember, she's the woman, right? And she carries the feminine energy that's clearly out of space when you find, you know, out of place when you find yourself in this kind of situation, right? It's chaotic, and it's also a testament to how you've shown up in the past in the relationship. That's why I used the thumbnail. Let me pull up the thumbnail. I think the thumbnail is really cool. To describe when you see all of us as men, right? I've been married for 15 years, so I know this stuff like the back of my hands, right? You get into a space, right? Let me see if I can find the thumbnail. Where's the thumbnail? You get, when you get married, right? We all get complacent, okay? We get complacent, and we basically get into this space where we don't believe that we can ever lose our woman. Okay, that's just that's just how we feel. You know, we don't feel like that's ever going to happen. Let me see. Where is it? Where's the thumbnail? Interesting. Let's see here. I can't find the thumbnail right now. Anyway, but yes. So we get into this space. We become complacent, both sides, but especially men. We just, you know, we stretch our feet on the table. We got the woman. We're married. She has kids for us. We just get relaxed, you know, and and you got her, so you never believe that she will ever get into this space where she'll be asking for space. What space, right? Where she needs time to figure things out, right? Especially after 10 years, like that's the last thing, right? But the truth is that there's a lot of influence on TV. There's a lot of emotional turmoils. There's a lot of things going on. There's evolution going on with human beings, right? So women are in a space where they are feeling like they have better options, right? And the angrier you get, the more angry you get, I should say. Maybe that flows better, right? The more you confirm to her that maybe she has better options out there. Now, you and I know that there's no options. There's nothing out there on the streets for anybody, okay? And the best thing you want to do is you wanna allow them to go out and smell it a little bit. You know, the fear here is that, oh yeah, she's for the street. She's gonna go fuck other men and then come back. Well, that's just the risk you're willing to take. Okay, again, how much do you care about your family? There's a good chance she's not gonna fuck other people. There's an extremely good chance, okay? There are people that will fuck other people. Don't get it twisted, okay? But there's a good chance that, you know, she won't. She's just going through some kind of emotional situation where she feels like she may have better options, right? And the best thing you can do in this situation is to leverage this as an opportunity to showcase a new you, right? You became complacent like the rest of us. We all do it. Listen, it's only natural to do it. You have your wife, beautiful wife. She's sitting there. She had babies for you. 5 years gone, 6 years you've managed, and then something starts to go on with her, right? And she may be trying to find herself. Maybe she's been home. Maybe she hasn't worked. Maybe she starts to feel like she hasn't really worked in her career as much as she would like to. See, as men, right? If we haven't done enough, what we do is like we adjust accordingly, right? As men, we've been trained to do that, right? But as women do something a little bit different. They start to question everything. They question every decision they've made in the past. They start to question compatibility. They mix it up with your relationship with them, and at the end of the day, they're probably going to alter that statement. I need to find myself. They need to find myself, right? Hi, Asha. Let's see. Is somebody mad that they didn't divorce? Well, no, they're not. They're not mad. I think O'Shea is shedding some light on some things here that actually I think this kind of news usually wouldn't make news. The fact that they got back together, people celebrate the divorce more than they celebrate the getting back together. It's just sad. That's just where we find ourselves as a society, right? But yeah, so O'Shea is basically talking about he was able to manage himself for the past 1 month. He made a very clean announcement as opposed to what Kanye West is doing, right? And now they're back together and they're trying to figure things out. And there's a lot of news about them figuring things out. So he's shedding light on if you ever find yourself in this space where your woman is asking you for space to figure things out, or she's angry, seems angry all the time, you're arguing all the time, the best thing you want to do is to stay calm, cool, and collected and say, hey, let me know whatever you decide. I'm here to support, even if that means she's moving on. Okay? What that does is it messes her up. Okay? It destroys whatever she was thinking or whatever she was it just destroy whatever the dynamics that put her in that space in the first place. She start to wonder that, am I making the right decision? Am I being stupid? Or maybe she's shocked. Maybe it's the first time that you wouldn't showcase this stupid anger that most men do, right? And then she's like wondering, like, maybe you're changing, and the best form of apology is a changed behavior, right? So let's keep going.
Do my thing, even if that means a change in lifestyle. And we got to talk about this and relate it to black men. There are many black men out there, and I want guys to understand this. We get kind of put into a box in this space as being guys who don't have wives, are not involved in long-term relationships. There are many guys over here who are married, who have been married before, who are not looking to play the field. Okay. And there are going to come times in relationships where, you're not as attractive to your woman as you once was. You may have gained weight. You might not be on your masculine purpose and all of that. But the one thing to get somebody back into your orbit, if they're going to come back, is to leave them. Let them.
If they're going to come back, the best thing to do is to leave them. I know it's counterintuitive. I know you have the fear that they may be gone forever, right? But remember, they're already gone, right? See, for a woman to get into that space where she's asking you for space, she's been nursing this idea for a while. So she's already gone mentally. Again, just like the example we just gave, the Kanye West stuff, right? Kim Kardashian is long gone for years before COVID hit, right? It's just that most men, we are so oblivious to what's going on when we're in a relationship. We just relax. We become complacent, right? We don't see it coming, and we're in complete disbelief when we get that news, when we get that shocker, right? So yeah, if there's a chance that she's going to come back at all, the best thing you want to do is to leave her alone. Okay, that's the best thing to do. All right, and I'm speaking from experience. Okay, if you want my full blown story, just check out the book. Getmymarriageback.com. That's where you can get the book for free. Yeah, so I'm speaking from experience. Okay, this stories seems to be the same across board. A little different nuances here and there, but they seem to be the same. And people are just not paying enough attention to see the patterns, to see how they can leverage other people's story or experience to build an awesome relationship, marriage. Instead, they run for the hills. They continue to talk more about the problems, and they wallow. They basically, misery love company, trauma bonding, and craziness like that, right?
Become a free agent. See, men who have something going for them can become a free agent. And the one thing that can really hurt a woman is a man who can be successful without her. Like, you have to be the kind of man, no matter how much you love a woman, have the perspective that I don't need you. I don't need you.
So that's not something you say. It's a perspective. It's a mindset, right? She start to wonder, right? It's a scientific fact that a woman is more attracted to a man whose feelings are unclear. The feelings are unclear, all right? And again, like I said, the best position for negotiation is being able to walk away and mean it, right? Again, it messes the other counterpart. It messes them completely up, right? Because now they wonder, did you ever need them, right? Again, it's not something you say out of your mouth to that person, okay? You don't say it out. It's a perspective. It's a mindset. It's something that they read. They can feel that confidence in you, right? Speaking of speaking of seeing that confidence in you, let me share. I think this is a perfect time to share this with you. There's a guy. It's a text message, okay, and I stole this from I don't know if you know who Kev on stage is. I stole this from him on Instagram. All right, so let me read this text message for you. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Okay, really quickly, we'll go back to the video in a second. All right, so there's this guy. He's a self-proclaimed alpha man, right? He's upset. Okay. Again, the idea here is that these are not things you say. If I'm gonna tell you anything like right now, a lot of people talk too fucking much. I'm gonna keep saying that. You talk too much. You talk too much. We know what you feel. A woman is more attracted to a man whose feelings are unclear. If she can tell how you feel already up front, that's why you're not getting laid. Even by your own wife. Okay? Very, very simple. All right. So let's read this. So this guy said, I still want you to do my jacket, queen. So I guess, business opportunity for her, right? And she goes, got you. Just let me know whenever you're ready. And then he goes, cool. Let me know when I can take you out also. Okay, so he's shooting his shot. Okay, all right. Allow the brother. It's okay. All right. Terrible, but it's okay. You never know, right? And then she goes, I appreciate the way you tried to slide that in, but I'll never be letting you know, Charles. Not open or interested. So somebody who will come out right and tell you that, they probably haven't shown you any kind of interest in the first place. But nonetheless, you decided to take a risk. Kudos for taking a risk. I definitely don't encourage that. You definitely want to make sure you read a person before you shoot your shot. Okay? Again, there's a 100 videos on the homepage of the channel. If you want to learn game on how to move, you want to learn some social skills, and in the dating, relationship, marriage is the same shit, by the way. You will be tested in marriage as well. Okay? Yes. Okay? The pursuit of the date night is a real shit. Okay? It's a real thing. All right? Thank you for that, J Bones. Thank you. Right? So let's keep going here. So he goes, I appreciate the way you tried to slide that in. And she's basically turning him right down. Anyway, let's see his response, right? She continues, and if that changes wanting to get to work, please be still. So this tells me that she was already feeling some type of way with the idea of doing business with this guy, right? That's what that tells me. Okay. Hi, Hour. How you doing? All right. There's a difference between Asha and Hour. For some reason, I think I was mixing the two together. I know I've come across both of you on other platforms. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Greetings to you. All right. So, and if that changes wanting to get work, peace be still. Wow, that's blatant, outright rejection, right? Now, rejection breeds obsession. Okay, if you've ever been rejected, but in any capacity, so you at least temporarily you'll be obsessed to at least want to find out. Um, did anyone know that Bitcoins is at $43,000 today? It's crazy. Anyway, let's leave that alone. That's beyond the scope of this lesson. All right. So now for her to just outrightly be rejecting him, that means she was already feeling some kind of weird vibe. That's usually what that means. Let's continue here. So, and now the guy goes, I mean, in a way, that means he's not willing to do business if he can't take her out, right? In a way, LOL, because it's like I'm good enough to take my money, but not good enough to date. I was trying to support you. All right. See why I tell men you have to learn game. You have to learn game. When I say game, I'm not saying joke. It's not a joke. I'm saying life is a game that you have to learn how to play. Manhood is a skill set, the skill set behind being a man. Okay? And ladies, yes, you too. There are skill set to living life in the way you like it, in the way you would like to create the result that you're looking to create. There are skill set behind them. Okay? There's some things you can learn, especially with respect to social skills and emotional intelligence. Okay? And clearly this guy lacks it a lot, right? So now he wants to basically say, yeah, I'm not giving you my money if I can't take you out on a date, right? So he's completely missed it. If I were him, honestly, I would just stop replying to the text message. If I made a boo-boo like this, I would just completely disconnect, right? Because there's no way to save him already. He already destroyed his shot, right? But anyway, so she continues, and now this time around, it comes with a little shame and insult. Sign language, undefeated, right? Button nose. I don't know what button nose means. I guess a nose that's shaped like button, right? That you can press. All right. I really don't need your money. Respectfully submitted. You contacted me, so I wasn't taking anything from you. I was fulfilling a service because, I mean, she has a lot to say too. God damn. I was fulfilling a service because I specialize within it. And let me act like I want something so she'll give in to my advances. It's not support. It's a weird calculated choice. I agree with that. It's very, very weird. It's a weird calculated choice that resulted in an L. Sometimes you got to take a little L so you can learn some lesson in life and move on, right? But of course, it's not going to learn its lesson. Lastly, I received support from 39 United states and counting, endless trips overseas. So this one filthy withdrawal won't disrupt my rest on my satin sheets. Thanks, though. All right, let's go to the next one. And then he goes, dang, you kind of arrogant. It's not attractive. Wait, you just got rejected? You're telling someone what's not attractive? That's weird, right? Shit like this turn alpha men off. For real. This nigga, right? Right? I really always took you to be more of the humble type. I made six figures, queen. Oh, wait. I made six figures, queen, so I can get anybody for real. But it's all cool. That button nose shit, you really arrogant. I'll pass, actually. Now he wants to pass. Now, remember I told you rejection breeds obsession, right? It's not what you say. That's what we're talking about. It's not about saying things out. Like if I tell you to have a mindset that you have to be willing to walk away a minute when somebody tells you they don't want to be in a marriage or relationship with you, the best way to increase the chances of getting them back into the right space of mind where you can work on things and build things back up is to be willing to walk away a minute. Yes, you're taking a real risk. And the risk you're taking showcases that you're in your masculine frame and that you don't really need anyone to be able to sustain yourself as a man, right? And that's, but it's not something you say. You don't say, I don't need you. If you have to say, I don't need you, you're telling the world that you actually need them, okay? You actually tell, if you have to say I don't care, you're actually telling us that you care. Okay? You need to tell your body language and your face that you don't care because there's a disconnect somewhere. Okay? So, like this guy, there's a disconnect with what he's actually texting, right? And what this young lady can read. I made 6 figures, Queen, so I can get anybody for real, but it's all cool. If you have to say I make there's a good chance you're not making 6 figures. There's a good chance that you're not too secured in the 6 figures you're making, by the way, right? That button nose shit, I'll pass actually. Okay, so here's the last part of it, right? And now, remember I told you she has a lot to say, right? She has a lot to say. And she goes, darling, you're not an alpha. You are Delulu. Can anybody help me what that means? What's Delulu? Oh, delusional? Oh, is that delusional? Right? A man like you being turned off feels like Christmas. Earning potential doesn't dismiss identity. A clown inside of an RR. What's RR? I'm trying to think. I feel like I know what that is. Remains a clown. The red nose is still present. May you find a woman naturally, not one you have to swindle into. Well, this is not swindle. Have you seen Twitter swindler before? This is definitely not swindler. This guy lacks game. This guy does not know how life works in general. I can tell you right now. All right. And still fail terribly at securing. Okay, not one you have to swindle into picking you, and still fail terribly at securing. And I love money, but money wouldn't make me see you. I'd rather be blind. You can't pass on something you were never in possession of. Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? The access was denied from the gate. Your ego is deflated, and it's a lot to digest because how dare a woman turn you down? Not you and your 6 figures, right? Right? 6 figures turned down, right? And then you'll be okay, Charles. Have a prosperous day and heal. Now, at this point, come on. He should give up, right? But he still had to have the last word. He goes, you're an evil person for real. And okay, cool. All right, the point we're making here is very simple. If you have to say it out of your mouth, there's a good chance that it's not authentic. Now, sometimes there are some exceptions to the rule. Sometimes you have to say things. Sometimes you have to hold your feet down, but it's usually not the case, okay? That's usually the exception to the rule. For the most part, you don't have to say it. So let's get back to the video by Oshay. Oshay is doing a good job today. I don't always agree with him, by the way, but I'm agreeing with him here, all right?
I'd love to have you, but I don't need you. And if I'm not dealing with you, my life is going to continue to be just as great as it was if you were there. And if you're not there, it's not my fault. And then leave her there. A lot of guys are so distraught about what your girlfriend's going to be doing with somebody else. That used to happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that much. Like that thing you just read will probably give away too much, right? I'll probably, if somebody comes to me and say, I need space. First of all, my mindset will probably be like, I need space too, and I'm taking the space, right? Because things it just doesn't happen overnight. You could tell that there is some kind of tension already in the relationship. It's not. You could tell, right? So there's nothing new about somebody needing space or anything like that, it wouldn't necessarily be new to you. Now, you may have been oblivious, right? That, but there's a difference between that and then you're just completely shocked, right? But I would probably say something to the effect of that, like, I understand. Let me know if you change your mind. Like, keep it as simple, short, and simple as possible. And then when you're walking away, you mean it, right? And it's okay to relax a little. You don't have to make an announcement unless you're making a public relationship, or sorry, public relations type of PR type of announcement because they're celebrities, right? But outside of that, you don't really have to make an announcement. Not so quick, right? But the point is that you allow her time to process what's going on by, as opposed to get angry and then start to calling out of her names because she said she wanted space or because she wanted divorce. If she says she wanted space, that's just now. That just means how she feels right now. It's not necessarily a final decision. Okay? And she says she needs divorce. It's not necessarily a final decision. Okay? I can't tell you how many times, how many stories I have of people coming back, even long after they've divorced, they come back together and remarried again. 5 years, 3 years after, right? Because really, like I said, there's nothing out there on the streets for anyone, especially if you already had the one, not 180s, but you already had somebody that you value. But sometimes it's not so clear. It's not that especially a woman will be clouded up, maybe because of life issues, and she feels like there may be better options out there. You have to give them the freedom to go and come as they want. If you don't do that, it's going to work against the results you're looking to create. Because now they feel like they're in some kind of bondage, and nobody wants to be in a bondage. You have to love in a way that the person feels free.
But to me, let me explain that. There was a girl I was dating before, man. It's some of the best sex I ever had. The girl lived in London, big old booty, everything. I'm just breastless, all that. She would have little moments where she would like not talk to me for a long time, like 9 months, 12 months.
Yeah, 9 months is unacceptable. There's no way you should be hanging around waiting for her. But let's complete the story. I'm sure that was before he knew better, right?
And the whole thing, I could never get in contact with her. The whole time I would be thinking about what is she doing with the next dude? Like,
Wow.
I know she's talking to somebody else. I know that dude is hitting it. Like she's dealing with somebody,
That
and it would be
dude's
driving me
hitting it.
crazy, right? And I would try to reach out to her, try to reach out to her, try to reach out to her, and it would just really make it worse.
Beta.
Come to find out, when I did talk to her again, the dude that she was dealing with, or the guy she was dealing with, wasn't even on my level. And the reason why she didn't realize,
I wouldn't even pay that much attention to know if if he's on my level or not. Now, it's easier said than done, okay? Most people will probably be more concerned about what the other dude is doing. I mean, the whole manosphere is either they're attacking, not the whole, but a lot of it, attacking women or attacking men that try to hold other men accountable, right? Or worrying about what other men are doing. Like they get angry, they start counting your pocket, right? Now he's not really making that much money. He's all cap, all the kind of shit, all the kind of feminine energy shit is what you'll see in the manosphere space, right? But that's neither here or there. The point is, you really should not even like. You should be so engaged in wait for it. This is a cliche, I guess. You should be engaged in your purpose. That you don't have time for bullshit. You really don't, right? Now, I didn't say bag, right? We know that okay, Kanye West is an exception, right? He was engaged in his purpose. As a matter of fact, he was releasing Donda 2, right? No, he's losing his family. That's real. That's real divorce cases. It's a real divorce case going on, and he's losing his shit, right? And Donda being released, that's just a corporation releasing a product. Don't worry about that. I'm talking about him personally. It's real. Okay? How many stories have you seen that like, oh yeah, maybe it's just for clout? It's bullshit. It's real. Jay-Z almost losing his family was real. These are real life stories, okay? The entanglement with Will Smith was real, right? Now, why would people in their right mind still stay in these relationships? It's because there's a value that they're getting from it that you probably can't comprehend yet. And that's why you're asking that question. Let's keep going.
as that is because I kept trying to talk to her. So it made her, it nullified everything that I brought to the table because I kept trying to contact.
You brought nothing, O'Shea. At that point in time, you brought nothing to the table. Because again, these are romantic relationships and emotions are involved. Right? These are romantic relationship and emotions are always involved on all sides. On all sides, emotions are involved. No matter how much we try to cap, this is romance. It's not just duty and responsibility. Not in 2022, maybe in 1940, but not in 2022. That's not gonna work. So you have to have manage your expectations when it comes to people's emotions, right? So when you say I brought a lot to the table, that's that I make six figures, right? But then if she doesn't feel emotionally safe, you may be able to attract her temporarily. What's up, brother? Right? You may be able to attract her temporarily, but that's just temporarily. You probably won't be able to keep her. Because at some point, when people are engaged with each other and they spend enough time around each other, even friends, emotions get involved. People start to set up expectations of what they expect off of each other. And somebody will feel disappointed, the other person feel entitled. And you mix all that together in a concoction and you just have a terrible situation. All right? So over here, everything you brought to the table was nullified. No, you didn't bring anything to the table. If she's basically not picking up your phone for 9 months in a row, she was not interested. Let's keep listening here.
Contact her. I kept trying to talk to her instead of just letting it go. Because when you have something to offer,
The number one skill set when it comes to romantic relationships in 2022 is letting go at every level. In conversations, in arguments, on a romantic level, in a marriage where your wife just asks you for divorce, letting go is extremely hard. I need to acknowledge that. I need to bring it to your attention that it's easier said than done. That's why it is the number one thing that will increase your chances of getting your family back, of building your family back up, right? Letting go. Even within interaction, right? She's saying something doesn't make sense. If you don't let go of your need to be right, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So at that level, all the way to the level where things have really, really gotten messed up and she's asking for a divorce, natural instincts, right? Your knee-jerk reaction is to fight for the marriage. That's the common sense thing to do, right? Don't let her go. Call the pastor, call the family members. Mr. Olaya he would know. Call the family members on her so that they can tell her to sit down in her husband's house. It doesn't work. It only makes things worse. It only makes things worse. Now she feels ganged up against. She feels ambushed, right? And you may be able to buy a little bit of time, but it only gets worse. It only gets worse. The only thing that works is emotional intelligence. The only thing that increases your chances that you'll get your family back if you find yourself in this situation is to let go, which is what it looks like Jason did. He made the announcement. He said, you know what? We can't. I forgot the statement he made. Let me see if I can find that statement. Let me add this to the stream really quickly. Let's see here. All right. So this is let me find it. Okay, there you go. Jason Moore, 42, 54 years old. All right. So this is a quote here. Jason moved back in with Lisa about 2 weeks ago, and they are very much back together. The pal told us they decided to work on things together, things rather than throw in the towel. See, there's a lot of in between here. There's a lot of things that happen in between here. Things like you let go, you let her sort it out, whatever she's going on, whatever is going on with her emotionally, you allow her some room to process that, right? as opposed to sit down there and be arguing with her why she shouldn't break up your family. She should not. She should stop acting like she want to belong to the streets, right? You say that to a woman, you think she's gonna want to stay with you? No, she's gonna want to run further away from you because you're basically confirming to her that she was making the right decision in the first place. They have teenage children, 14, Lola, that's my wife's name, and 13. Those are ages where a man will not want his family to break up. A typical man will not want his family to break up. He will feel like a failure if that happens, right? Everybody's really hoping that they can make this work this time around. Let me see here. Okay, so they got married in 2017, but they've been together for much longer. There you go. They started dating 16 years ago. That's what it was, yeah. So they've been together for 16 years, right? But they only married about 5 years ago, right? So, yeah, just wanted to make sure I covered that really quickly. All right. Let's go back to this.
They will find you again. And, like Kevin says, a lot of other guys, LA Movement, you get the hey big head text messages. What does that mean? That's a woman's way of checking for you to see if you're still available. Now, sometimes guys can overplay it. Oh, yeah, I really miss you. Or, guys can turn her off. But let me just say this. Stay on your purpose. Shout to Alpha Male Strategies. All right. When she's doing that and you haven't had no contact with her, that's her way of saying, damn, I really
stay on your purpose. I know sometimes it sounds goofy, it sounds repeated, it sounds like a cliche, but you need to find your purpose. If it sounds like a cliche to you, it sounds like you don't have a purpose. Sounds like you haven't identified something you call a purpose, a life mission that's bigger than yourself, bigger than your lifetime, and of course that means automatically bigger than her. You need to be engaged with that all the time. See, when you do that, you increase your chances of getting her back. Because those are the things that attracted her to you in the first place. Those are the things that make her feel safe around you and not make her feel smothered, right? These are the things that takes you away from her so you don't smother her to death. Because remember, rejection breeds obsession. If you're rejected in that way, there's a good chance that your knee-jerk reaction would want to be obsessed over her and want to act crazy like Kanye, right?
He messed up with you. Damn, I really fucked up. I really did something bad. I should have done better. I'm really sorry. I tried to play the field and it didn't work. And it's obvious with this situation with Lisa Bonet, there's nobody that she can deal with. Who is gonna deal with her like him? At her age 54?
Yeah, but so nobody's going to deal with her. It's going to be extremely difficult for her. She's a single mother. She's a celebrity. She doesn't have much going on for her in terms of acting. Not like in the 80s and the 90s, right? So maybe not. But honestly, you don't want to have that. Listen, you want to really believe that. Bottom line is that instead of just saying it, just to make yourself feel good as a talking point, as another manosphere talking point, you really want to just believe that. But not only that, you know the value you're getting from her. That's the reason why you're married to this woman. So in one breath, you can't be like, she has nothing going for her anyway. And the other breath, you're like, oh, she's the most beautiful woman in the world for me. That's a conflict there, right? Right? So maybe you shouldn't have the mindset the most beautiful woman, not in that space. You should have the mindset that she's a beautiful woman and I'll have her back no matter what. Whatever she decides to do, I have her back. That's the mother of my two kids, 14 and 13 years old. And you want to make sure that you're not conflicting that with, she got nothing going on for her anyway. Screw her. If you move like that to she remember, it's about making her feel safe and secure, right? Even if you want to move on, even if you really want to move on with other people, like you don't want the marriage anymore, this is the mother of your kids. It's still in your best interest that she's on your side, because if she goes to divorce court or she goes to child support court, you're screwed. You still want them on your side. They are in your life forever. If you read the Will Smith book, I read the Will Smith book. It's a really good book to read, right? When he was breaking up with his wife, his first wife, Cherie, right? The mother of his first son. when it was breaking up, um, there was a big divorce fight in court, and Quincy Jones, who was the producer that was producing the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which was how he was making money at the time, told him to just give her half of your shit and let's get back to work. We got work to do, and he refused. He didn't listen because he was short-sighted. See, a lot of talking points in this manifest pay are short-sighted. They're not. They're not. They're not. They don't have vision, right? They're not long-term oriented, long-term solution oriented. Everything is short-sighted. How I feel right now. Screw out, kick out to the curb. Those are all short-term feelings. Make you feel good in the moment. But at that time, Quincy Jones told him to just give half of your shit. Let's get back to work. It's not about the money anyway. It's about the legacy, the empire that you're building right now. But you know what he did? He went and burnt a bunch because he was caught up in his emotion and he was mad at her. He basically wasted a bunch of money on lawyers and stuff like that on the divorce case, you know, and then still have to, because it's like war, right? It's like what's going on in Ukraine right now. You still have to come back to the negotiating table. You still have to come back to the negotiation table anyway. So it's up to you. You can go to war first and destroy a bunch of people first, casualties, your children, and you still have to negotiate, or you can start negotiation right now. Learn how to negotiate right now, right? And get what you want still. Have your cake and eat it too. Especially if you had some really nice sauce, recipe of emotional intelligence to that, right? It works in your favor. So that's what I think is happening with this guy. Let's keep playing.
A Jason Momoa kind of guy whose career just keeps getting better and better and better. Hey, there's not many alternatives out there but him. You gotta go ahead and make this shit work. And you know what? A lot of women, they misjudge things. You know, sometimes when you know you have a good job or situation, you quit before you have the new job, and it's like, damn, I wish I wouldn't quit. Yeah, but then sometimes it's too fucking late.
It's too
what
late.
happened with her. But if he wasn't okay,
there are a lot of women that go through divorce and regret going through it. A lot of them will never admit it, by the way. A lot of them would admit it, right? But yeah, that's real.
with leaving her, she wouldn't have wanted to come back. And guess what? I bet you she's going to be on her job. She's going to be screwing like never before. She's going to be possibly, you know what, slurping like never before. She's going to be on her stuff because she knows now that this guy can leave me and he can function. I can't break him. He's not.
Exactly. She knows once you are able to let go, which is again the number one skill set in life. If you're able to let go, she knows that she can lose you. Okay? That increases your chances of keeping your family together dramatically, just because you're able to maintain that kind of masculine frame where she feels safe and she calls it, oh yeah, I just decided to stay. No, it's because you were really good at letting go and you allow her time, you allow God to work on her, right? So you can bring your family back together, as opposed to be being controlling and trying to force situations to stay the same way. The truth is that marriage you had with her is crumbled. Something wasn't working there, right? And things needed to shake up. And if you see that as an opportunity to build something brand new, then you'll be absolutely fine.
not going to get out of character because
Either way, either with or without her, you'll be fine. Because again, you can't pretend to do this. This is something that has to come from inside out. You cannot fake this funk here. You have to work on yourself to be able to, because it's extremely hard to walk away and mean it. Walk away from a family that you care about and mean it, knowing that you're taking a risk that you could lose your family for life. It's hard. It's not easy to do, okay? But that's precisely what you need. That's why you need to do it, actually. Because again, now she can come back and say, you know what? I can't afford to take this person for granted. Let me lean in. Let me see what the values are in this relationship. Because you give that room for them to go through that process. All right?
I don't want to be with him. He's a complete alpha male. And that is what guys need to have.
The woman gets to decide if you're an alpha male. You don't get to decide that. She doesn't say it out in words. It's how she moves around you. She finds herself submitting to you. She finds herself trusting you. She can trust your core, right? She finds herself respecting you. She doesn't get to decide if she wants to respect, trust, or submit to you. Women don't get to decide that. As much as manosphere try to force women to do that, it doesn't work like that. They naturally want to do that. They find themselves in spaces where they can't do that, and yes, it's conditional. Get with the game, okay? It is conditional. All right. All right, so let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Yeah, I think
this mentality. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson.
Duke Jackson. So yeah, so that was the video that I wanted us to react to. Hopefully you got some lessons for that. The key thing is you have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to walk away a minute. You have to leave room for her to wonder. You can't. You talk too much. There's too many guys talking too much. They call it they're on a panel, but you talk too much. Even on the panel, I can tell you when you talk too much. Okay? We can tell how you feel. There's nothing to look forward to. And that's why you're having trouble getting laid. Okay? There's nothing. There's no mystery. There's no mystery effect. There's nothing to look forward to. You run your mouth so much online, we could tell everything you think. Right? That goes for me too, because I do this, what I do here, right? That goes for me too. But again, there's a reason why I allow the algorithms to bring the audience here. I don't promote this on my Instagram page. Well, I haven't done that. I'm trying to see if I can avoid doing it, right? Because again, once people start to know how you feel, people that are in your personal life, it can backfire. That's a real thing. They can use it against you, not necessarily deliberately. Okay, people start to look at you like you're psychoanalyzing them, and the last thing I want my friends to feel is to feel like I'm psychoanalyzing them around me, right? That's the last thing I want to do, because it takes away from the experience of life, right? I just want to be a regular person. I just want to be with them, hang out, talk about nothing, right? As opposed to being at the top of my lungs, shouting at the top of my lungs about gender war every single opportunity I get. Some of you need to learn how to back away in your personal life from those kind of conversations. It's a lot. It's hard for me to do that. It's actually very hard for me to do that. All right, so let's go on to the next segment here. Let's see here. Before we go on to the next segment, let me just play this for you. I want to encourage you to join the notification gang. I'm going to play this really quickly, and I'll be back in about 30 seconds. All right, so in Ukraine right now, Nigerians, black people in Ukraine, there's a lot of news coming out of that space that they're not being treated right. People are trying to escape. They're not allowing them on the bus. They're not allowing them on the train. They're maltreating them, right? So the reason why I wanted to do this quick PSA in the middle right here before I go on to the next segment is just to bring to your attention some information. I'm going to play about 4 clips, very short clips, and this is what's going on in Ukraine over the past few days.
These are the black people. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here.
Those are people stranded, by the way. Those are people stranded with babies in their hands. It's pretty sad. War is not fun. Okay? War is not fun. It's ridiculous what's going on, but that's where Ukraine as a nation or the world has found itself. But let me play the next one here. There's another video here. This is what people are going through.
And cover Nigerians in this particular border. So
This
if
is
you have
us.
to call his number, I would like you to please put calls across to the person and disturb them. If you have family members who can get across to them and disturb them. Like,
We're so stranded. We've not eaten, no place to rest. We're just here.
She said they've not eaten.
And like we just left the cold outside for like 6 hours. We've been outside. We've been begging, pushing, dragging. Like it's been so traumatic just trying to get into the border. And when
So they're not letting them into the border of, I think, Poland, Hungary. There's another country there somewhere, you know. So that's what's going on with black people. Majority of them are Nigerians, okay?
we're not able to get there, since morning we've been told that all Nigerians, the embassy has gotten buses for us and stuff, but we've not seen any. And then like we watch other nationalities leave, and it's really, really so.
So they claim that the Nigerian government have claimed that they've sent buses and stuff like that to help them, but they haven't seen anything.
We don't have arms. We don't have arms. We don't have arms. We don't have arms. We are students. No arms. We are students. We don't have arms. We are students. We are
They are saying we don't have guns. We don't have guns. We're students. We're students. We don't have guns.
We are students. We are students. We are dying. We are dying of cold. We are all dying of cold. We are dying of cold. Everybody go down. Everybody go down. We are dying of cold. We've been here for 3 days. We died of cold. 3 days.
All right, so here's another one.
They're not letting us go. Is it right?
They're not letting on the train here, I think.
They're not letting the black girl
That's
go.
another one. So they're not letting them on the train in that clip right there, right? And here are a bunch of people.
People left without taking the blacks, man. None of the blacks, man. See. No
Stranded by the train stations. They left them there, right?
kids and their wife and left the niggas behind. Like everyone is stranded. This is really too bad.
That's another one right there. This is another video of people stranded, okay? People that were not allowed on the train to try to escape from war. That's what's going on right now. Yeah. It's sad, you know. So black people are still being treated like shit around the world. Let's keep that at the back of our mind. That's why we can't afford to keep fighting each other. Here's another one. Here's the last one.
Why?
Yes,
Why?
They're dragging them off of the buses. So anyway, just in case you know anyone that may need help out there, Romanian is the other side of the border where they can also escape to. Poland, Romanian, and Hungary, I think. That number right there, they can try. You know, they can try to call those number right there. If you need to pause, rewind, take a screenshot, do what you have to do. I just saw this online. I thought I should share it just in case you know someone out there. And also, here's another one. Okay, that number right there is +48 7292 75316. Okay, this is for all Africans stranded in Ukraine. I have this contact for you. Okay, so that's contact right there. All right, so I just wanted to bring that. to your attention really quickly, and then we can go on into the next segment of today's show and live taping. All right, welcome back. So that's that for Ukraine right there. Our prayers up for Ukraine. We got this video. I want to talk about pygmies, okay? I feel awkward saying that word pygmy, but it's a real thing, and there's a lesson here that I wanted to extract here. But there's 5 clips I wanted to play around this topic. Okay, there are 5 clips that I want to play. Very short clips. I try to keep it short. But let's get into it. These videos are by a young lady with a channel called Mahogany Pink. I just stumbled into it. These people, I just keep stumbling into all this kind of people. But anyway, quite an interesting take. Very intelligent, of course. One thing that's not lacking when it comes to the dating scenes of 2022 is not intelligence, okay? Maybe emotional intelligence, but not intelligence. Definitely not, not when it comes to like these extremely smart people, very well put together presentation, make good cases, shit like 80% of divorces are initiated by women. I mean, that sounds smart as shit. Until you start to dig in deeper and you're like, wait, yeah, they filed for divorce, but what happened before the divorce, right? You start to ask further question that, of course, majority of them are not willing to go through that rabbit hole with me, at least, right? But yes, let's go into this first video and then we'll talk about it.
Deserve a response. First, they may try to invalidate who attack channels like my own and try to debunk my videos is that they miss the point entirely. If my channel's aim is to display why black men may not always be black women's most suitable partner, then debunking that would be to display how they are. If my
So this lady sounds like she's advocating for divesting, or opening up your options, when it comes to dating and anything like that. And not, of course, a lot of people, when they hear that, they go straight for the shooter, and they start to feel like, oh yeah, so don't date black men. No, she's actually made it clear that she's not saying don't date black men if you find one. She's just saying keep your options open, right? All right. So but before we get into this, what is pick me? So pick me is something. Let me see if I can give it a shot to give it. As a matter of fact, instead of doing that, why don't I just pull up the probably the Urban Dictionary mini somewhere, right? Pick me God mini. There you go. Yeah, let's pick that up. There you go. Let's see what the dictionary says instead of me trying to butcher it up, right? Won't make any sense there. Add to stream. All right. So here's what it says. It says, according to Urban Dictionary, the top definition: a girl who goes out of her way. All right, so it's very similar to what a lot of people will call, on the other side, they will call a simp. A man who goes out of her way to impress a girl who is not reciprocating is essentially a simp. Precisely what makes it a simp is the expectation and the entitlement to the reciprocation. Okay. Now, the pick-me girl, according to Urban Dictionary here, says a girl who goes out of her way to impress men by ensuring she is not like other girls. Now, it's very important to pay attention to the she is not like other girls. Okay? Now, if you've done enough study, if you've been on this channel long enough, you know that women are inherently the same across board in so many ways. Of course, people are not a monolith, right? We know that. People are unique. We get that. Right? We get that part, right? But there's so much that they have in common when it comes to how they relate with men, and it just happens to be the same across board for the most part, okay? For a typical woman, okay? Because she's more so in our full essence within the space of the feminine energy, she doesn't give a shit about how you feel if she's caught up in her own feelings. Okay, that's just the way it is. You made her do everything that went wrong, as far as she's concerned. She doesn't realize she's doing it. It's just natural space she goes to. Okay, but also that's also part of the social construct that we live in, right? After all, we're the leaders. We're supposed to be the leader, right? And we want to remain the leader, right? So we don't really have much choice than to take responsibility in trying to understand the evolutionary reasons why things are the way they are, as opposed to blaming people, as opposed to judging people or blaming them or calling them out of their names and things. So a pick me girl basically go out of our way to appease men, okay, including making sure they're not like other girls, okay. So when you have a woman that's very outspoken about how she's not like the modern women, very outspoken, not in her behavior. The behavior, just like what I said about men earlier, right? Your actions speak louder than your words. I'm watching your actions. That's why I tell young men, especially that in this space, you got to be careful with pick-me's. Because a lot of them are saying, no, find you a pick-me. I was like, no, you got to be careful with pick-me's, because the same work, if not more, of vetting that you have to do, you still have to do across board anyway. You can't go for automatic. Since she knows all the talking points, she's appeasing to men. She knows what men wants. If she's saying all those things, generally that's not the natural state of a woman, and that's the more so reason why you have to make sure that this is what you want. Okay, so if you're on the extreme end of modern women, meaning fuck men, right? Men are scum. That's masculine energy. Guess what? If you're on the other extreme end, and as a woman, you say fuck all these modern women, we need to protect our black men. If you're very outspoken about that, that's also masculine energy. Okay? That's also an energy. It's just polar opposites. It's the same thing, essentially. Okay? What you're looking for is somewhere in between. Somewhere in between, like normal human being. They generally are probably not too soaked up in all of these online spaces. That they are the minority, unfortunately. Okay? But it doesn't mean there are no good women in these spaces. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that just them being in these spaces and repeating the talking points to you, and you're having a hard on because they're saying your talking point, they're making you feel good, that right there is something you have to be extremely careful about. Because it's not what people say, including yourself. It's about people's actions. You have to watch their action more so over time. So now this young lady, Mahogany Pink, she falls in the category of the extreme other end of things. Sick, divesting. She's basically attacking the pygmies. I don't like that either. Okay? It's not about me. It's not me not liking it. You have to be careful about that either. Okay? Because some of you will see that and, you know, your muscles, you get swollen and you find a very nice girl, you should go after her, right? No. Slow your roll. You have to vet everybody accordingly, equally. Use your spirit of discernment now. Watch the actions. The words, I guess they are important, but only to a certain level. There's limitations. All right?
My videos aim to highlight
So
to
let's
black
watch
women
this
how
video.
blind loyalty to black men is not in their best interest, then debunking that would be highlighting why it is. But internet pick-me-shas never do this. Internet pick-me-shas regurgitate tired old talking points and misinformed statistics that barely deserve a response. First, they may try to invalidate your experiences as a black woman. Particularly, they may talk about how colorism isn't really a
Well, they do the same thing too, right? She's right. That they're regurgitating talking points. She's absolutely right about that. I've seen them. I'm not going to mention names. You may see some pictures in her videos, right? But some of them are my friends. So I got to be nice, okay? But again, I don't know them enough. Again, the point is get to know people. Don't just go by their talking points. Slow down. Easy, right? Right? What I want to ask that some of these ladies that you see their pictures here, I want to see their YouTube analytics, it is probably 90%, minimum 80% men, and not a lot of women. And what does that tell me? That tell me that the viewpoints are not exactly balanced. Okay, they're not exactly balanced. For a woman to have a channel and it's all about and she's not selling OnlyFans, and it's 90% men, something is off there with respect to social constructs, socialization, how the world actually operates. People are getting a delusional form of truth from that kind of space. They're enjoy that it's basically misery love companies. It's like an echo chamber. All right. Let's keep going.
Prejudice that you're facing in relation to black men. In fact, someone purporting to debunk this notion made a video and cited a study that she claimed said that colorism isn't really hurting black women in the marriage market because after 30, there are more married dark-skinned black women than married light-skinned black women. I immediately took interest because how could anyone actually know that? What metric are we using to determine who is light-skinned and who is not? Is it the Fitzpatrick scale, the brown paper bag test, or are the white scientists just casually guessing? So I had to look up the research for myself and saw that this was a study over a decade old. The jokes started to write themselves because not only did this 14-year-old study not say that colorism wasn't causing a marriage squeeze for young black women, the entire premise of the study was that it is a fact that colorism is causing a marriage squeeze for young black women. And I'll quote their abstract. The interracial marriage gap that opened in the past 50 years is generally attributed to a decline in the availability of young black marriageable men. We contend that the associated shortage of desirable men in the marriage market provides those black men who are sought after with the opportunity to attain a high status spouse, which has placed a premium on having light skin shade. We provide evidence based on data consistent with this hypothesis for young.
All right, so let's break down the first sentence of this study, right? The interracial marriage gap that opened in the past 50 years is generally attributed to a decline in the availability of young black marriageable men. Marriageable man. Who gets to determine if you're a marriageable man? Not you. Now, this is the problem. This is one of the problems with manosphere, right? Yeah, there are marriageable men. There are men making 6 figures, men up to 40 years and have no children. All that shit is meaningless, okay? Especially if you're using it as a talking point to make a case without listening to the other side. The best thing to do, right? Yes, I'm teaching you how to talk, right? Is to find out why, this is what the statistics says. Why do you think that way? And get some insights from that. Not absolute truth, but get some insights from whatever the young ladies have to say about that, right? So the question comes to mind, is there actually a decline in the availability of young black marriageable men? From what I can see, yes. And it has nothing to do with money. Many of them are extremely smart kids, make good money, $200,000, $300,000 a year, just not marriageable, evident by the fact that you are 30, 31, 32, 35, 37, 47 years old man, and you cannot maintain a long-term relationship. Yes, including if you've been divorced. You're not marriageable. It's not an indictment. It's just what it is. That's what your result says. And we need to acknowledge that first so we can come to the space of saying, okay, what could we do better next time? But if we never acknowledge the results we created, we've got a serious problem. But again, she's talking about colorism and all this other. She sounds extremely smart, extremely what some people may call masculine. She's in her cerebral a lot. Doesn't mean that she couldn't be a good wife. I'm just saying she's on the extreme. It looks like she's fighting girls on the other side. If you're on this side, you're fighting girls on that other side. Yeah, that's a little weird for me. That's what I'm telling young men to watch out for. Be careful either way. Be careful either way. What you're looking for is somewhere in between. They engage, they disengage, they live real life. They also have room for possibilities like, hey, they are blue pill, right? They're not just all about stats, empirical data. That means men are scum. No, like if you're carrying, that's a lot of energy you're carrying around, and that will affect your personal life. Either you realize it yet or not. All right. So
Black women. Our theoretical analysis of the marriage market reveals that policies to
let's go on to the next
desire to
video.
marry on the part of young black women will enhance the importance. You were a little girl, you've been seeing images of black love on the TV screen that looked like this, or this, or this. But in reality, black love has always looked a little more like this.
Extra aggressive.
You look Are you kidding me?
You are the
Investigators say after killing Kenyatta, O'Neill brutally murdered his 9-year-old daughter, Ranivia, and tried to stab to death his 8-year-old.
All right, so let me break this down. I'm going to drag this back here. Actually, a lot of people experience this, okay? You see what she just did there? She started like, well, Hollywood has painted it like this, like this, like this. And then suddenly she wants to call this the reality. What was that? Maury show? Jerry Springer, right? That's completely false. You know, that she's selling something. She's selling snake oil. Whatever that is, she's selling divesting. She's selling you fear, right? Basically, the title of this video was, I think it had to do with the falsehood of black love. Black love exists. All you need it to be is exist. I live in one, okay? I have friends that live in black love. Yes, those that don't live in black love tend to be the loudest on the internet. But black love exists. Just like you see in the beginning of this, I'm going to play it again. Just like the other side of things exist as well. The question is that, are you more inclined to projecting your own experiences on other people and then call it like, yeah, all that is bullshit. I have friends that say love is a scam, religion is a scam. Then I just tell the person, well, life is a scam. You're right. There's so many things, that pictures that Hollywood painted, that it's not going to be exactly like that. That's just not the reality, right? Nonetheless, we know that a life of living in paradise exists. Feeling like you live in paradise, feeling like bliss, like you're actually happy right now, that actually do exist, right? So you got to be careful what kind of space where you're hanging out, who you're listening to. People that tend to paint only negative picture of what's happening in real life. If that's how it was, you couldn't get out on the streets in front of your house. There will be cops everywhere every single time. Maybe you live in that neighborhood. I want you to understand that you have options and you can move out. I know it's hard, but you can, okay? You just have to ask a little bit more questions. Let's keep going.
You were a little girl, you've been seeing images of black love on the TV screen that looked like this, or this, or this. But in reality, black love has always looked a little more like this.
Extra aggressive.
That's not true. This exists, the other side exists too. That's more so of accurate narrative, as opposed to now we should push this down the throat. And now, how do you expect a young woman to watch this and not expect this, or have our guards up, right? Let me go on to play the next one here. All right. She's a very smart girl. I really enjoyed her presentations, but I just feel like she's doing the exact same thing she's accusing the pygmies of doing. Once people start spewing all kind of statistics at you, you're like, oh, let me find the source. And I go to the source, blackdemographics.com, and I look at it. Okay, what's the source of this? What's the studies? And okay, 1,000 people were sampled. There are 7 billion people in the world. Like, give me a break.
Function of the Black American family are for the most part in agreement. The model of exclusive Black love, that is to say a culture where Black people in America will only make themselves romantically available to other Black people in America, is unsustainable. Specifically, Black women's collective decision to make themselves exclusive.
Well, that's why people settle all the time. It's always been true that it's not sustainable. That's just data, right? So I'm never saying that data is not real. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm actually saying is that in spite of, I'm not going to shame somebody for going after the best, because if you are going to go for PhD and so you don't say, hey, average people drop out. What you do is you go for the possibility, right? It's the same thing. I encourage people to go higher and do the best for themselves, right?
Exclusively available to Black men is unsustainable. Why? Well, short answer, there aren't enough marriageable hetero Black men to...
So that will be the second time I'm hearing her say that. A shortage of marriageable Black men. that does not mean that you as a young lady will not find your own marriageable black man. That's not what it means. This is just what stats says. This is stat across, I don't know how many millions of, is it 40 million black people in America? That's just what this is, okay? They sampled 1,000 people that said, hey, there are a shortage of marriageable black men. You don't want to turn this to your reality. You don't want to shoot yourself on the legs before you enter the dating marketplace. That's essentially what these things will do to you. Even though they are right, those are actual data, right, that we can take. If I was doing a study or something, I wanted to make a lecture, sure, I can use the data. But you as a person, you don't want to internalize this too much to the extent where you self-destroy and you start to feel like maybe you don't have a chance anymore. The truth is that you do have a chance, okay? That's just the reality.
Meet the demand of marriageable hetero black women. Most experts name mass incarceration as the leading cause, but whatever you think the issue is, the fact remains that the community has a shortage of gainfully employed black men who can support a family and are looking to marry a black woman, short by about...
Yeah. So that's that right there. Let me play this last.
Please say that the men aren't playing their part in the institution of black love as protectors and providers, and they're the ones who need to alter their behavior. Well,
so I strongly believe that the leaders are responsible, okay? Whoever wants to be the leader, man, woman, if you want to claim to be the leader, you're responsible, okay? Usually this is the junction where I'll get to and people say, well, yeah, I know you're going to blame men for everything. No, I'm not blaming men for everything, okay? What I'm saying is that you desire to be the leader, you need to take responsibility for the fall and the rise of whatever you're trying to build. It's just that simple. It's not that hard, right? Oh, so people shouldn't be held accountable? No, they should be held accountable by you being a leader first. You hold yourself, the way that process starts is you hold yourself accountable first and make sure that you're not missing any part of the puzzles, any pieces of the puzzle, okay? And just from me looking, just you complaining about women already tells me a lot more than I need to know, okay? It just tells me a lot. Because remember, we live within a social construct and context, right? And no matter how much you want to be intentional, you can only be so much intentional to the extent of making sure you're swimming in the direction of the trend. If you don't do that, you will self-destruct. You will hurt yourself because you can't swim against the trend of the ocean. You will hurt yourself, okay? And that's precisely what you're doing when you're complaining. When you're complaining about how people move from a social and emotional standpoint, you actually control that. You control your surroundings, okay? So you're not telling me a lot that I can really use to help you when you complain, when you're complaining, okay? It's just a terrible place to be as a human being, period, especially as a man.
Because admission of failure on their part would be giving you permission to leave them. And a society, however dysfunctional, can survive with very few men, but a society without enough women will crumble. So, as a community, we've decided that come hell or high water, we are going to keep these black women on the hook, waiting and praying and competing for that good black man who will come into their lives and build a family.
If she wants to do that, she has the freedom to do that. What is this idea of trying to push data down the throat of people so they can disengage from their preference? People's preference are their preference, right? And yes, there are consequences for their preference. If their preference is off, time will tell. But what about attraction? You want to force black women to go marry a white man? You can't force that unless she's already attracted to white men, which there are black women that are attracted to men of different type of races. And those people have the freedom to do whatever they wish, right? But the idea that you have to force everybody to be open to something they were not attracted to in the first place, it's like, stop.
Despite all evidence that this will happen for very few of you. Don't get me wrong, there are some very good black men out there. Hell, there are some even great men out there who are black, and there are some dusty black women, but numbers don't lie. Here's the math. You already...
So she's doing the same thing, just on the polar opposite that a lot of people in the manosphere will tend to do, right? She's doing the same thing.
outnumber black men, and for a bunch of reasons, more than half of them will never marry anyone. Of those that remain, almost a quarter of them will marry women who are not black. Of the men left, 73% cannot financially support a household alone, and you will have to work. And due to the high rates of infidelity, domestic violence, and financial instability, 42% of these marriages will ultimately fail. Less than a quarter of you who get married will be in marriages where your husband earns more money than you. Less than 8% of those of you who get married to black men will have the luxury of not having to work at all. In fact, most high-earning black men remain bachelors or marry out of their race. So for all of you ladies with hypergamous rich black girl fantasies, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not likely going to happen, particularly for the more richly melanated sisters and the sisters with the West African. Realize that this is the likely outcome for those of you who have children with black men. And the likely outcome for those of you who open up your options is that you get engaged on the same timeline as the national average. But if you decide to play the waiting game in the hopes of finding black love, it's going to cost you. The men are being instructed to keep dangling the carrot of security over your head, claiming that they're only willing to marry you if you're feminine, fit, friendly, and blah blah blah. But they're already sleeping with you, already getting you pregnant, already living in your apartment on discounted rent. It's too sweet of a deal to keep you on the hook, and you ladies are falling for the okie doke, the old dusty bait and switch, asking you what do you bring to the table when they're already eating off of your plate. This hamster wheel that black women are on in the pursuit of black love only.
The hypocrisy is crazy. All of these guys speaking against this woman want this woman. I've seen too many examples that's just the truth. I'm sorry. Okay.
Only serves the men because it increases your desperation and thus lowers your expectations. And because it serves the men, the narrative will always be that you're not trying hard enough and you're not looking hard enough. Look at all of these token images of black love. It's not the numbers, it's you. You haven't found black love because you're not listening to men well enough. You're not giving the men what they want. You're not doing enough. You're not good enough for black men. You need to be doing.
So again, she's obviously somebody who consumes a lot of content in this space, right? And she's pushing against it with the polar opposite direction. That's not what you want, either men or women, okay? First of all, as a woman, I want you to be aware that the pick-me thing is something that we have to study a little bit more, definitely. For me personally, I'm generally not even attracted to pick me, right? It's just like I don't need a woman to repeat talking points in the name of advocating for men. I don't need it if especially I'm interested in the woman romantically speaking, okay? I don't need that. I need you just to be a woman, okay? So I can see what the hell I'm dealing with, right? On the flip side of things, the modern day woman thing is real, and many of you gentlemen will end up with one or two of them. Either you like it, either you realize it or not, right? So, and it's actually extremely easy to get them to submit, but you have to be willing to learn game. It's extremely easy to get them to respect you and to trust you. You have to be willing to be consistent, right? As a man, you have to be solid in yourself, right? And either way, either she's a pick-me or a modern woman, it wouldn't really matter. Because you would have done not only doing your vetting properly, but also you've prepared yourself to be able to handle conflict and crisis, the inevitable conflict and crisis that will hit every marriage at some point. You're prepared to handle that, right? So that's very key. That's very key.
What white or Asian or other groups of women are doing to keep their men. Black men's practice of comparing black women to women of other races is age old. You, your mama, and your mama's mama were told that non-black women make better wives and that you need to take a page out of their books and learn to be more cooperative. And every criticism of black women for black men starts with, "You want to know why we date women of other races?" But they can't explain why these relationships tank faster than yours. They can't explain why black men in interracial marriages have higher divorce.
I mean, those relationships are just going to fail just as much if you don't do the work. The work is this simple. You vet. If you're not married yet, you vet properly. But after marriage, you have to learn how to handle crisis and conflict right now already. Because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's going to show up from a blind spot. You're going to get caught up in your feelings. And if you're prepared to be able to handle those things, you're in a better position. And marriage is fantastic. Marriage is beautiful if you can figure those things out that I just mentioned right there. But if you approach marriage with an entitlement spirit, expectations of whatever you think your ideology is, you're going to fail. You're going to become like a statistics like everybody else. Okay, very, very important. Very, very important. All right, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and go into our last segment of the day, which again we're going to do a part 2 to I don't give a fuck, I just want to tell the truth. All right, that's a whole video on that. We did it and the video blew up, and I figured we should do a part 2 to move the conversation to the next level, right? All right, let's see. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? This right here. All right, welcome back. So we have the comments, okay? So let's see here. Let's look at some of the things that people are saying. All right. So we did a video. Let me go to that video directly first of all. Let's go to that video. This video right here absolutely blew up in the past less than 24 hours. 24 hours. All right. So let's go to it. Let's go to it. There you go. And we're going to go into comments. All right. Okay, we got a few comments here that we should go through. All right, so Red Pill Reloaded. I feel like I've seen that name around. He says, Tariq gonna start clowning and belittling Oshay to embarrass him. That's what Tariq is good at. Oh, roasting people, right? Because it was a roast session. He roasted Roland by making a puppet, and the same with Tommy Sotomayor. And Citizen Kane goes, and? What do you mean, and? What do you mean, and? All right, so, but anyway, good point though, good point. He's probably gonna come back and roast him, but Oshay is just doing his thing in his lane, covering his celebrity news and stuff. J Bones, my guy. I'm not sure if you're still here, but this is your comment. Who cares about him roasting Roland Martin? Roland and Oshay are still making money and thriving. So how effective is Tariq's rhetoric? I have a word for you here. Rich. Oh. Stupid, right? It's rich, right? But yeah, I hear you on that. Red Pill comes back, says Oshay admitted himself that he's tricking. Can't blame him. He has a face that only a mother could love. Damn. Yeah, that's not nice. We gotta stay nice. Come on, people, gentlemen. We gotta be nice. We can agree to disagree. Well, I don't look at men and their looks in general, so I don't know. I can't see what you're seeing. J Bones, Oshay is very level-headed. Tariq is so childish that hood village behavior is alive and very well. 54 years old, still talking like he's 17. I didn't say it, you said it. Somebody said, oh yeah, man's body, boy's mentality. I mean, it's roasting. I mean, like, come on. Okay, who's more childish, Donald Trump or Tariq Nasheed? Who's more childish? Let me know in the comments area. Who is more childish, Donald Trump or Tariq Nasheed, right? Okay, so well, he's leading FBA straight to hell. Okay, all right. That's a very strong opinion. J Bones, how you know how old he is? Well, I would think that the age is somewhere online, right? Well, he looks more like 45 at most to me. So if it's 57, it looks good for his age. Did he say 57? Let me see. Did you say 57? 54. I mean, if he's 54, it looks good for his age, right? So I did say it's 54. Nah, you serious? And then he goes, he's been listed as 47. I was in high school. I doubt he's still 47. Well, it looks like he was in high school, what, less than 10 years ago. Citizen Kane, he's been listed as 47 since I was in high school. I doubt he's still 47 though. That there's gray hair running all through his hair. Pay attention to his live streams. He keeps darkening his hair. Is he? Interesting. I only watch his live stream just to see what he's up to. Probably watch at most 5 minutes in a row. Oshay can be petty also. Oshay is hella petty, you know. He's good at this, right? I've seen him roast celebrities. Jebo, sir, those are assumptions, not facts. Next time you pay attention to facts. Okay, so see, here we go. What are the facts, bro? I'm curious now. What are the facts? Red Pill. Oshay provides opportunity to young people and teaches them educational opportunities. Tariq is a fraud. Oh, those are the facts? Okay, interesting. Let's see. Tariq means Oshay is a target for a roast. Hence why Tariq warning him to not speak of him. So someone like me, I don't think Oshay is afraid of a roast from Tariq. I just don't think that, right? Right. Jebos, you're back. Yeah. I don't think Oshay is afraid of but it would be nice to see though. I would like to see that. No physical nonsense, no disrespect, just roasts. Like an organized roast, like a versus between Tariq and Oshay. I want to know in the comment area who would like to see that. Because I think Oshay is he roasts people all the time. I mean, those celebrities, right? So, let's see. Tariq means, okay. Well, here for it. Okay, I said the same thing there, I guess, right? Tariq has pool, but the dude is immature. Again, you're only saying that because of the roast. And I heard he's a comedian too. He takes stage sometimes too. I don't know if I can take it too seriously that he's roasting people. I don't know about that. And really not any kind of serious leader. Well, he's built a movement, and we can't cap about that, you know. So I'm not sure, you know, I'm not sure I can cap about the fact that he's a leader, you know. Exactly, but he's the type of leader. African Americans love anybody that shows up to pretend to be a leader. Look at Tariq clown behavior. How is this a leader? Well, he's a leader because he's leading, clearly, a group of people. It may not be your own cup of tea in terms of what type of leader he is, right? You may not be able to follow his type, right? But clearly, he's leading some people. He's 190,000 subscriber minimum. You know, so he said he's not a leader of anything. Get it through your non-FBA scores. Speak your mind. speak your damn mind. Speak your mind, bro. Tariq does not want to be a leader. He advocates that as a group. Yeah, but that's bullshit. You're leading, but you don't want to be a leader. I guess we can all say that. I'm not really an apostle, but I'm going to lead a church and plant churches all over the place. Yeah, right. Tariq does not want to be leader. He advocates that as a group, black, get on code, and the code is the leader. Well, yes, that's out of context though. You can, like, the best leaders build leaders, right? That's what you're saying. That doesn't mean you're not a leader. So stop the cap. Stop the cap. He keeps saying he's not a leader because he doesn't want to end up like Martin Luther King and Malcolm. That's why. Oh, is he? J Bones, tell me something. Is he afraid? Is that what you think? That's why he's using the Neely Fuller so-called code. All right, all that is getting too deep for me, but maybe you can educate me next time we do a call-in, right? Rule to deflect from pretending he is not part of the Nation of Islam, I guess, right? While running around Africa with FOI security in red bodies. What is bodies? You Americans are killing me. Yeah, right. Not a wannabe leader. Yeah. I don't think he's not just, I think he's a leader. Naturally. He doesn't have to say he's a leader. Is that what you're saying? Just like I said at the beginning of this show. You don't have to say, I am this, I am that. You don't have to say any of that. You don't have to say, I make 6 figures. People can tell if you're worth 6 figures or not. They can tell. They can smell it, sniff it. Right? They can sniff it from afar, right? All right, so that's the comment on this video. We're gonna make that the part 2. Let me see here. On this video, grown man roast session. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling the truth. The idea of I'm telling the truth was that there was a clip that I played there where everyone thinks they're telling the truth. I already covered that in part 1, so make sure you go ahead and watch part 1 if you haven't seen it. Let's see here. So if you're an African, you have nothing good to say about Tariq Nasheed. You are an idiot. Whoa! Black Unfiltered TV. Is this Black Man Unfiltered or this is... I don't think this is Black Man Unfiltered. This is another person. You're an idiot. You're a good African brother, but you sound like you're defending a man who disrespects your people and culture. I'm confused. Let's go back. If you are African, you have anything good to say about Tariq Nasheed. Oh, if you have anything good to say about Tariq Nasheed, you're an idiot. You're good African brother, but you sound like you're defending a man who disrespects your people and culture. No, I speak from both sides of my mouth. I need you to educate me. Not booties, right? I need you to educate me. You may know Black Unfiltered TV. You probably know something I don't know, right? He's disrespectful, but I've also seen him in a space where there was a back and forth and they were roasting each other. To me, that's fair, right? That's just fair. But also, I recognize him as he roasts everyone. He roasted, he just attempted to roast. He's warning Oshay Duke Jackson that is going to be roasting him. I'm waiting for that, I want to see that, right? So maybe you can tell me something else that I don't already know. I don't think it has to be I think if you are unable to speak from both sides of your mouth, I think that's closer to idiot, okay? I think if you're unable to see things from different perspectives, I think if anything such as idiot exists, I think that's more so closer to idiot. But nonetheless, thank you for your comment, though. Thanks for the comment. All right. So let's see here. The truth hurts. Black people on the motherland, the United States to UK or whatever, the diaspora is nobody wants to hear the truth. If it's raining, they do not want to say it's raining. And that's black people everywhere. That's so true. And if somebody is peeing on them, they want to say it's raining. Don't tell them the truth. They want to hear lies. Black people weaknesses, emotions, and feelings. I have to agree with that a lot. I agree to a large extent. Okay? I agree to a large extent. I see what you're saying. I've always said it. I think it's the same problem that black people just have across board. Either you're diaspora, continental. I think it's the same problem. We don't realize that if you want power, you have to take power. It's not given. That right there. Okay? It's not going to be given. If you can't do that, you need to stay in the zone where you are. Stay within your own what do you call it? Stay within your capacity, right? Just stay in your lane, Stay at your own level and be a leader at your own level. You don't have to be the leader of the whole world or an empire. Just be a leader in your own right, in your own household, and let's start with that, and then we'll build from there. That's what I think, ultimately. But yeah, generally speaking, black people have a problem with the truth. It's not just women. I know we'd like to say it's women. Women like to not be held accountable. They want to live in la la land. I think it's black people across board a lot. And that's why we have a whole continent, 50 countries. And we're bitching about everything else. And we're fighting each other, you know? Like we're talking about human resources, natural resources, all types of resources, everything you ever need, right? But the truth is that we follow the whitey because we're not capable. That's the reality. Okay, that's the reality. And if you feel like I'm wrong, please tell me. Tell me all about all the inventions that black men have created over the past centuries. Please share them with me. You know, share them with me. You know. But yes, I wanted to come here today and we run the course of today's show. Definitely, I want to appreciate everyone that was here. Jables, thank you so much. What's good, Sir Hill? Welcome. You're right on time. What's going on, my friend? I've been watching the street, interesting events and stuff. Shout out to you. You held your own. I appreciate you, brother. J Bones, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, like I said, at some point we'll start doing the calling. But for now, we just want to deliver the content. I want to say thank you to everyone. We hit 17,500 views. Okay. We are right now. I don't know. Let me see what happened as we were here. Let's see if we were here. We got 195 subscribers. Okay. About 150 of that happened in the last month. 143 of that happened in the last month, in the last 28 days. So we're moving very fast. So we are definitely going to be putting some dents, some damages into this space, and I can't wait to bring some more stuff. If you're a young man, I highly recommend that you go watch the videos, Game 100 for Men. Okay, I need all the smoke. You may even disagree with some stuff there, but I think number one major issue is social skills. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Social skills. Okay, people are struggling with social skills. That includes when, how, and when to engage power, when to take power, when to ask for power, right? How not to bitch about power, and all those kind of different things, you know. It includes all of that, right? You need to have emotional intelligence and be well-centered first before you ask for anything else. Nothing else works. Nothing else works. As long as we're talking about human beings, nothing else works. It's not going to work if you continue to ask. And that's something that black men struggle with. We're asking for power as opposed to learning how to engage existing power. And if it's power that you feel like it's not existing, that you want, you need to take it. All right. And because we're dealing with human beings, the way you take it for the most part is going to have to be emotional intelligence. A lot of it is silence. There's more power in silence than it is in being loud. That's just the fact of life, okay? When you're being loud, you're predictable. We can tell what you're thinking. We can tell your next move because you talk too goddamn much, right? We can just tell. We can read it from afar, all right? So yeah, that's basically what I have for you today. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated, okay? I'll be back live here on Thursday at 5 p.m. Okay, I'll be right back here 5 p.m. Between now and then, I'll be releasing some clips here and there. All right, so I'll be releasing some clips to some of the stuff we'll cover today, or maybe some pre-recorded stuff, you know. So make sure you're plugging in. Help me hit like, subscribe, share. You know, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.